Hi, this is Mike, Family DIY TV on the YouTube, and today I'm with my gas stove that I converted from electric about a year and a half ago. I did this conversion myself. It's actually using a 20-gallon propane tank that you'd use for your gas grill outside. This thing works fine, and we're going to get into all of it. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to show you all the plumbing. I'm going to show you the cost breakdown of how much this cost me. And also, I'm going to talk about some kind of misconceptions or misperceptions about this setup. So let's get into it. All right, so my setup starts with the two propane tanks that are outside the house, okay? They are connected through, they're called pigtails, up and to the regulator, okay? The regulator is a two-stage regulator. All that means is that you can connect two bottles to it, and you can leave the regulator in auto mode. So the nice thing about that is you could connect the two bottles, like I said, to the regulator, leave it in auto mode. When the one bottle runs out, the system will automatically switch to the second bottle. So you have uninterrupted service. That's the only difference between a single stage and a double stage regulator, okay? I have the double stage regulator, okay? I'll put a link to that below as well as the pigtails, okay? So you either need a single stage or a double stage regulator. If you have a single stage regulator, pretty simple, you'll just connect one propane tank to it. The issue with that is once it runs out, you're out. No big deal, you just go out there and swap it out. Swapping out is just like connecting a propane tank to your gas grill. You can connect a propane tank to your gas grill, you can connect it in this setup, okay? So, goes to the regulator regulates the pressure. The tanks can either be, hot outside or cold, so the pressure can regulate coming out of the tanks. So that's what the regulator does, regulates the pressure. Then it's piped into the house through the black pipe you can buy from Home Depot or Lowe's. It's available everywhere, it's super cheap. Goes to a shutoff valve and then makes a 90-degree turn up to the kitchen, okay? Pops out of the kitchen floor, there's another shutoff valve, and then from there, basically it just connects to the stove just like any other gas appliance. You go out and buy the gas appliance kit from like Home Depot or Lowe's. It's a box. It comes with the connection. It comes with all the converters that you need, because depending on the unit that you're using, the pipe you're using, you may have to do some conversions, okay? So it comes with all of that. Of course, all of the pipe fittings they have pipe dope on them. The system, before I put any gas through it, was pressure tested. And I also use the gas leak detection spray. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do the piping or the plumbing, okay? What I'm going to do is get into more of the money and how long does a propane tank last. But what I'm going to do is down below, I'm going to put a link to all the products that I use, but I'm also going to put a link to a bunch of videos or a few videos that show you exactly how to do the plumbing. Hint, hint, they're from This Old House. They're great videos. Check them out, okay? They're down below. They'll show you how to do all the plumbing, okay? So you may be thinking, well, that's great. You have a 20-pound propane gas grill tank connected to your range. That's good. It works for what, 2 days? No. Before I tell you how long it lasts, let me tell you what kind of atmosphere it is here. So we have 5 people living here. Okay, for the last year and a half or so, we were living through COVID. People were home all the time. We were cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do a lot of cooking here. I do a lot of cooking. My wife does a lot of cooking. We do a lot of entertaining. We have a lot of people here on the weekends. We do a lot of cooking on the weekends. We do holiday cookies. We cook all kinds of things. One of those 20-pound propane tanks, on average, will last 2 months. So you go through 10 pounds of propane per month on average, okay? So last year we went through about 120 to 140 pounds of propane, okay? And we do a lot of cooking. You saw the stove. The stove has 5 burners. It has 2 ovens. We can have all 5 burners going and both ovens going with no issue, okay? One of the fears I had actually was with this setup, and this was sort of an experiment for me because this was not a permanent solution. This was sort of an experiment because I did have a company come out to do this, like with they're going to place a huge tank out back and they were going to pipe it in. They said it was $1,500, okay? to do that. And they wanted to put me into a contract for propane for my stove with minimums. And I just, whenever I hear contract and minimums, my head starts spinning and I instantly run for the door and I instantly come up with a better solution for myself, okay? So this is the solution I came up with. I'm self-reliant. I don't have to deal with any contracts. I'm not, So what was I talking about? I was saying, how long does a 20-pound propane tank last? The last for 2 months. We also have a 30-pounder, a little bit bigger, lasts for 3 months. Okay, math's real simple. That equates to about $100-ish a year in propane. Okay, so it costs us $100 a year for propane. Yes, we need to go to the store and we have to get our propane tanks filled. I have about 9 of them. I usually go to BJ's with about 6 of them at a time every 6 months or so, and I get them all filled. And I just have a bunch of them laying around in the shed and stored in different places. Okay, so it's actually worked out very well. Like I said, this was a temporary solution, but this will be a permanent solution. This was sort of a pilot for me because we are redoing our kitchen. We're moving that stove to a different area in the kitchen. So this will, when I redo the kitchen, this will be the permanent solution. Okay. What I'll probably do is I'll probably buy 2 40-pound propane tanks and put them out there. But they work just fine with the 20-pounders. Okay. So like I said, it works great. No issues. This is something that you could do yourself. I would recommend, if you're not comfortable with gas, that you get someone to help you that is comfortable with gas. What I did, I never really worked with gas like that before. I just hit up YouTube, man. I watched a ton of videos. It gave me the confidence to do it myself. You can really do a lot more than you think you can. People get scared and they don't want to, or they get analysis paralysis. They just do it. This is a little different. Maybe with gas, I would say if you're feeling comfortable, until you feel comfortable, don't do it. But this worked. A lot of people, we joked and we laughed about this, but this is how an off-grid cabin would work, or a tiny house would work, or an RV would work. And an RV is running way more. They're running the little stoves, but they also run their refrigerator, their heat, on a little propane tank. So a little propane tank, 20-pound propane tank, is a little mighty force of power, okay? So, with that being said, I'm gonna ask you for a favor. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. If you're looking for any of these products below, want to know what I use for mine, just scroll down in the description. There's links down there to all of it. Single stage, double stage, regulator, you should know what that is now. The pigtails, and some of the other devices. One other thing before I go, actually. Because I was doing this myself, I splurged. I bought a detector, and I would suggest you do this yourself. You can never be too safe with this stuff. I bought a detector, and I'll splash it up right now, that detects gas. Okay, so if I did anything wrong with my plumbing, which I knew I didn't because I tested all the lines with air and I also tested with the leak detector, that this thing would pick it up. So I put one down in the basement below where the pipe comes into the house because propane is heavier, it falls down and it'll go off if any propane. I also put one upstairs next to the stove itself. Okay, I also tested them to make sure that they're working so I don't have a positive safety that's really not working. So what I did was I plugged them in next to the stove and I wafted some propane over there and they went off, so I know that they both work. Okay, so with that, again, I am out. This is Mike from Family DIY TV. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you watching and I hope this helps you. All right, man, I'm out.